Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Aston Villa Career Mode here on Fast Sports channel. We are now on episode 3 of the Career Mode, and we start off here, you saw there, with an international job offer from Iceland, which we did swiftly reject. Obviously, we want to focus our time fully here on Aston Villa. I was surprised to get an international job offer only a few games into the season where we haven't performed maybe as well as we would have expected, but ultimately, we got the offer, but we did end up rejecting it. So we're fully focused on Aston Villa. We're not going to take any international job offers, at least at this stage anyway. But who knows what's going to happen going forward. But we jump straight into a game in this episode, starting off away from home against Fulham, recently promoted side. The sort of team, if we want to get to where we are, we need to be beating these teams or at least getting a point out of them, obviously, if they're playing well. But ideally, we do need to be getting wins against these teams. Now, I will put a little claimer in here. There was a little bit of a kit clash, so apologies for that. I didn't even think about the kit, to be honest. I just clicked sort of play match, and this is what they gave us. So if it's frustrating for you to watch it with these kits, imagine how frustrating it was for me to play with it. But either way, we go around it, and fingers crossed it's not gonna hamper our performance in here. But you can see here early on, Fulham did get a better start than us. You can see their cross did just graze the top of the crossbar. Wasn't really going to trouble us at all, but they did have a few opportunities to start with, so we were on the back foot initially with Fulham really pushing, especially using that home form to their advantage, using the fans behind them. And you can see again here getting through, but as previously, Emi Martinez was having a great game here and manages to keep that one out. So the corner comes in from Fulham. They play it short. They tried to get the ball across, but unfortunately it does get blocked by our player, and they manage to get it to another one of their players who swings the ball in, gets the shot in, but it is blocked again and ends up falling to Emi Martinez. So although Fulham were creating chances, they weren't really troubling us too much. And then as the first half went on, we sort of grew into the game. We got the ball down here on the left hand side of Williams, managed to get a header onto it, but unfortunately again nothing coming from that. So a pretty drab first half overall, to be honest. Nothing really happening. As I say, a couple of chances, but nothing that was really troubling either goalkeeper. So we felt we really step up in the second half. We needed to, one, defend well, and two, obviously create a few more opportunities, get Tammy Abraham the ball, obviously the new boy up front, get him on the ball a bit more, and hopefully get him in some good scoring positions. But again, it was Fulham who were coming the closest to score him. A point blank range save there from Emi Martinez. So again, we've got him to thank a lot for his display in this game so far. And without him, if we didn't have him in goal, then potentially we could have been 2-3-0 down at this point. But luckily, we managed to keep it at 0-0. And you do see there, Tammy Abraham does get his first goal back for Aston Villa. He slipped the ball through from Dwight McNeil, and Tammy Abraham took the ball onto his right foot and smashed it past Areola and Fulham goal. So the two new boys combining, Abraham gets his first goal back at Aston Villa, first goal of the season in Premier League, and hopefully that's going to set him on his way to continue. But you can see Fulham came back straight away and did manage to get an equaliser through Tom Kearney. The ball, they just slipped the ball through to the winger on the right hand side of the edge of the box. He played a powerful cross across to Tom Kearney, and then Tom Kearney manages to smash the ball in on the volley. And again, you can see here another slip ball through, and Tom Kearney gets his and Fulham's second goal of the game. It's what we've had previously, where the defence has just been a little bit too wide in the middle of the park, and we haven't been tracking our runners, and their players managed to get through us and just play that through ball in between our defenders, and someone manages to latch onto it. So again, it's something we need to work on. But you can see there, even to the last minute, Fulham was still pushing us, and Emi Martinez made a good save there to keep the scores to 2-1. But we do end up actually losing that game, unfortunately, against Fulham. So not a great result, but we tried to move on into this game against Leeds. You saw there, Trezeguet was saying he wanted to start, and we said to him, you know what, you haven't really played in the Premier League this season, but when you played in the Carabao Cup, I know it was against Colchester, but when you played in the Carabao Cup, you had a good game. We'll give you a chance here against Leeds. It's obviously, the attack's not quite working for us at the minute with the players we've got and the results we're getting, so we'll give you a chance, see what you can do, and obviously if you perform well, then who knows what's going to happen going forward. You could potentially get a starting spot straight off. So that was the deal with Trezeguet. Obviously, he asked us, we gave in to what he asked, because ultimately there wasn't any real reason not to grant his wish. But Leeds started really well here. Rafinha was causing us real problems down on the left hand side, and he manages to swing the cross in, and it is Tyler Roberts who gets the header in on goal. Comes in, rattles the bottom side of the crossbar and goes over the line. that 10 minutes gone, so an early lead for Leeds, which wasn't obviously the start we wanted, especially at home. We know how Leeds play. They're going to press you with every single thing you do. They'll break quickly and they'll cause problems and always work hard. But we were hoping as we grew into the game, then we could potentially do what we wanted to do. And you saw there, Tammy Abraham gets another goal for us. So 2 goals in 2 games for Tammy Abraham, paying off that £20 million price tag very nicely and proving why we wanted to bring him in and why we paid the big money for him. But, I mean, there wasn't too many opportunities for either side. You can see here Leeds were having a few opportunities and the ball did fall to them, but it got blocked. And that's the way the game was going at this point. Both sides were getting some opportunities in and around the area, but the defences were holding strong and blocking the shots and not letting anything really through. And then there wasn't any real opportunity. So we were looking going forward in this game. If we could stay strong defensively, we were fairly hopeful we could break down their defence eventually later on in the game when perhaps they're getting tired. Obviously with Tammy Abraham, with the speed of players like Dwight McNeil and obviously Trezeguet as well. We were hoping that later on in the game we would be able to break the team down. But you can see here a clearance from the corner. Gets a bit lucky for Trezeguet, bounces off their defender, bounces off him, but breaks well for him. Pops onto his left foot and finishes it very nicely, repaying that favour he asked us for the game. We granted his wish and he's repaid it with a goal with his left foot. As I say, a bit of a lucky one. The clearance just came in, it hit their defender, hit Trezeguet and just managed to fall kindly for him. He broke for on goal. There was a defender catching him, but luckily he managed to slot it away before he got tackled. And unfortunately Leeds did come back and get a second goal for themselves. So we do go into half time at 2-2. Again, it was just another little cross from the right hand side, similar to one at the first goal at Fulham that we conceded, where the ball just comes across from the right hand side of the box, and then there's a player there to attack the ball and put it back of the net. But going into second half, we get a good start. The ball comes in, we do our own version of that. We get the ball in from right hand side, and it was captain fantastic Jack Grealish getting his head to the ball for his first goal of the season. He's played well this season. He hasn't really had the opportunities with goals and whatnot, and you can see there another chance. Not a great shot from him and saved easily, but he's been there or thereabouts, and he has played well in the games. It's just been a shame he hasn't been able to get any goals at this point, and another one falls for him there. Again, ball across from right hand side, pretty much an open goal. Obviously the goalkeeper's there, but you pretty much point blank range, and unfortunately the goalkeeper did manage to save it. It was a bit of a tame shot, so it's just getting Grealish. I thought once he gets that one goal, hopefully he can build on that, and fingers crossed he will do that going forward. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen for him in this game. He got the one header from point blank range, but he just couldn't put away any more of his opportunities. And then going into stoppage time of the game, you can see it, Brandon Williams breaking down the left hand side at speed. He looks to cause problems for them. He gets the shot away. The keeper saves it. We get another shot. I think it was Ollie Watkins who we brought on as a substitute. But again, a block from Leeds, and that basically summed up the game. Just good chances, but being blocked by the defence, and the defence is being strong. So we weren't too disappointed with that, though, in the end. We ended up winning the game 3-2. Again, not the greatest defensive performance from us, but if we can score 3 goals in a game and only concede 2, then happy days. We get the 3 points. So we'll take that, and we'll move on to our next game, which is again in the Carabao Cup. This time, it's against Crystal Palace away from home. We said in the last episode, the last episode when we played Colchester, we wanted a nice easy tie just to sort of ease ourselves into this competition and hopefully get a few games going. But we do come up against the Premier League side in the second game in the Cup against Crystal Palace. We did rotate the team quite a lot. Again, a lot of players who either weren't playing or youngsters or players looking for starts, but we gave a few players opportunities. Ollie Watkins started up front for us and he had a header there which unfortunately did put over from fairly close range, which was a shame. But Crystal Palace also rotated their team fair. They still have their main player in terms of Wilfred Zaha. We still had Jack Grealish, so obviously that was the main talking point for everyone. But unfortunately, Crystal Palace did take the lead, and again, we conceded the first goal, and it's Connor Wickham. I wouldn't imagine he's one of their first choice players at the moment, and obviously he might have just been brought in for this game in the Cup, but he did manage to get the goal when he got put through on goal. Again, it was just a pass through our defence, just through the gaps in our defence, and they've had a player running onto it, so similar to what we've seen previously. But we do come back, we do get a goal there through Dwight McNeil, his first goal for the club. Picks up the ball on his left foot, the little chip ball from Jack Grealish into the box, picks up the ball on his left foot and smashes it past Jack Butland in the Crystal Palace goal. So really good from Dwight McNeil, good to see him getting his first goal for the club, and obviously that will give him confidence. He's had not a difficult start to his career here, but he hasn't really perhaps done as much as people would have hoped. So it's good to see him get a goal, and hopefully he will build on that. And again, Ollie Watkins manages to get through there and slot one in for himself. So another player perhaps lacking a little bit of confidence with the striker, hadn't scored all season. Obviously, we brought in Tammy Abraham as our main striker, but hopefully that will give Ollie Watkins some confidence. Hopefully he can build on that goal. So both of them, McNeil and Watkins, we both know they're good players. We both know they're young players who are there for the future as well. But it's just been a shame for the start of the season with both of them, where they haven't really been able to muster up too much for themselves. And you can see there, Watkins, another header wide from him, potentially could have had a first half hat trick here. But I'm happy he got the one goal. At least that gives him a bit of confidence. And with strikers, once you get that first goal, the rest of them normally keep on flowing. But Crystal Palace come here, they do manage to get a second goal, and it is that man Wilfried Zaha. Again, the ball got cleared from the defence. They ran down the right hand side. We tried to make a tackle, but unfortunately just couldn't quite get there. They played the ball across, and then a couple of passes into Wilfried Zaha, and he manages to slot it away into an open goal. He got through there again, but he wasn't troubling Tom Heaton and Argyle, who's deputising for Emi Martinez, giving him a game. As I said in the first episode, he's a good goalkeeper. He will do for us as a backup goalkeeper for now, but with his age, obviously, he is getting on, so don't know how long he's going to have here, but he done well in this game. Although conceding 2 goals, he pulled off some good saves and was brave in some situations. And on the break, Dwight McNeil again gets his second goal of the game, and that's brilliant to see from a new signing, a 20-year-old player. That confidence is going to absolutely shoot up after getting 2 goals, and it's not like 2 goals against a League 2 team. It's 2 goals against the Premier League side, and you can't argue with that. And we do manage to go ahead and get ourselves a 4th. Our main man, Jack Grealish, gets a goal for himself. We said obviously previously, if he gets 1 goal, then hopefully the floodgates will open. He got the goal in the last game, and then he's managed to get another goal here in the cup. So going into the final few minutes, 4-2 lead. We were fairly confident we were going to win this one. We were fairly confident even if Palace came back and got a third, then we'd still be comfortable enough to see out the game and get the victory and go through to the next round. They do get a shot there. No power in it. Tom Heaton, easy save for them, and we do actually end up winning the game 4-2. So again, 2 goals conceded, but ultimately the team we were playing wasn't our first team. Palace had some great players, obviously Zaha and Connor Wickham and people like that. They had a good attack, so potentially we should have expected to concede a couple of goals. But as I said before, if we can score 3-4 goals a game and only concede 2, then ultimately it's a win-win situation because we get the 3 points. And in the case of the cup, doesn't really matter about performance in the cup, although you need consistency and the performances do count towards something. Ultimately, it's a knockout cup. You win or you lose, you go through or you get knocked out. And ultimately, if you win, then you're through to the next round. You can forget about the game and build on that going forward. So we were happy with the victory. And we'll take that into our next Premier League game, which was against our rivals in Wolverhampton Wanderers. This is our last game of this episode. And unfortunately, again, we do take an early goal against us, and it is becoming a real problem conceding these early goals because we're having to really attack to try and get opportunities and get that goal back for ourselves. And in this game, we were really struggling to get goals. You saw there one of our best opportunities of the half. Tammy Abraham got down the left-hand side and got the cross in, but we just headed it over. And going into the second half, the game just carried on how it was in the first. The ball comes in from a free kick, gets knocked down, and Raul Jimenez just smashes it into the back of the net. And as I say, we were struggling to create opportunities in this game. It turned into a game like the Man City one in the last episode where we were playing counter-attacking football, and I didn't want to do that against teams like Wolves because we know we've got the quality to match them, but the way the game went, it was just one of those where we were really struggling and we had to adopt that in the end. But that is the end of the game. It did end up 2-0 to Wolves, so that is a real shame with the rivalry, but that's how it is. And you can see in the background, we do currently sit 17th for the league, and you can just see the table here. You'll see Man City up here. Their only defeat of the season obviously comes against us, so we're sitting in 17th, but we can beat teams like Man City. So if we can build on that, then we should be in a good place. But anyway, that brings the episode to a close. As always, make sure you subscribe to the journey, like the videos, and comment. Thank you, and take care. Bye bye.